Where were the Cassavetes?
Can I say one more thing that you and I used to hear?
Yeah.
Broadcast quality. It has to be, yeah, right? It has to be right? Has to be broadcast quality.
What was it shot on? Broadcast quality? I would shoot videos on a high 8 camera at 280 resolution. And then I would make a master when I was done onto digital Betacam. And as long as it was on digital Betacam, it counted as being broadcast quality because now it had 460 lines of resolution. Like, but these are the things. No, I'll give you another one. Finishing God Money, and they come out to me and they say, yeah, the film didn't pass it didn't pass the specs. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, your whites are too bright. I said, well, what do you mean? Well, we run it through a spectrometer thingy, whatever, and the whites have gone off it can't be played anywhere. I said, why? What's going to happen? And they were like, we don't know. We're just told if the whites go. It took me a week to track down where that rule came from. That rule came from the whites on an old tube TV. If the whites were too bright on a tube TV, the tubes would blow out. Too hot. And that rule carried over into the scopes on what passed QC, quality control. The whites aren't too white. You know, like, these are the things that's all gatekeeping. And those are the things that once you realized, but I could make my own movie and just distribute it. Oh, I guess you mean no one's going to QC your movie? That mentality, we live in that mentality now. That's the world now. You can do whatever you want to do in any way, shape, or form. Tell your stories, create your content. You can do all of that right now. There are no rules. But I want to end with this. No, I'm ending with this.
End it, and then I'll tell you a story.
I still think, what do you think was still our best moment creatively working together?
I'm telling you, man, that walk with your dog at 11 at night.
No,
seriously, with that Black Friday scene, because we were stuck. And then I remember when you said something and I said something, and I remember the excitement between us that we had kind of transcended the problem.
Yeah.
And I was like, because Darren, that doesn't generally happen. I write stuff, and if I don't transcend the problem, I just sort of ignore it, and then the script ends up not being very good, and that's just life.
Right.
But I think that, for you and me,
I'm gonna say it's the Sick of It All video. No, because bro, yeah, right, bro. That's me and you, still pretty young guys.
I looked a lot older than you.
Yeah, with one of the greatest hardcore bands, New York hardcore, right? And I'll never forget the night before we filmed it, which, by the way, and we didn't have the idea for the video. We didn't have it until the morning before we were going to shoot. That's a whole other crazy story.
And how did we get it?
Looking through magazines, right?
Looking through. Pete was in the books with Hoist Gracie.
Yes.
And Pete is demonstrating with Hoist those moves, and Derek came over to you, and then came over to me, and I don't know why he came over to me, because you were the guy in charge, and he goes, why don't we just do this? It's a storyboard.
Remember, we were going to do Taxi Cab. We were going to do Travis Bickle. And someone had to shave their head.
I wrote a script for it.
You wrote it, right? That's why we were there, but they trusted you. We were there, and then we just said, we're going to run through New York in the mid-'90s, which is a little bit different than running through New York now. Mid-'90s with the most classic New York legends, right? And there we were running through the streets of New York filming. That was so indie. But the indie gods smiled on us the night before, because do you remember who we saw in the restaurant the night before that video?
Harvey Keitel, and I tried to give him my script. Right as
Harvey
I was my script,
Keitel.
he cut in front of me and he shook his hand.
Harvey Keitel, me, you, a bunch of young kids in New York about to make a indie film in New York in the streets, and we see Harvey Keitel the night before, like just blessing us with indie New York film. Just,
You remember, though, before we got to the restaurant, they were eating the bread, and I didn't know this until later, but they found a cockroach in the bread. That's why there was a free bottle of wine on the table. And I didn't drink. I mean, I still don't drink, but I didn't drink then. And I was like, ooh. But we didn't find out till after we
till
ate.
later. No, I mean, I think we have to do a weekly. I think we have to do a weekly podcast update of just you reminding me of things, and then you jogging my brain on things. Oh my goodness!
Be careful what you wish for.
We should know, because I feel like it's been coming, and then now we're here and we're doing it, and there's a lot of this.
I love how this happened today. I love how you did it. Classic Darren Doane it style. I said, hey, I'd love to interview you. Let's do it today. I was like, oh, wow.
Let's do it, yeah.
It was beautiful.
It's just one of those days that just opened up. Oh, dude, thank you. I mean, yeah, I don't even, like I said, I think we have so many stories that we should just be doing this like once a week for sure, and just catch up on things, talk movies, do all that. I mean, I think we have to do it.
I love it.
I think we have to do it.
Let's continue to talk. I'm going to look for that script. The other thing I wanted to say, because I always think of you, I hope I can capture the funniness. As we were writing Black Friday, I made a mistake, and I wrote, instead of writing, we look at the computer, I wrote, we the computer. And you were like, you came down, you're like, Evan, I really love your existential look at the movie right now, but can you please... And then, remember how I used to write, I still do it this way. I didn't know why then, but I know why now. Remember, if I ever wrote God in the script, I'd write G-D.
You get the Jewish.
Whatever you want to say, I get it, Evan, but if you're ever writing for a studio, you're gonna have to put the O in there.
Although there's plenty of people in the studio would probably be like, oh, yes, Evan. Oh, my goodness.
Darren, to the crew there, to everyone, thank you for giving me your time today.
Evan Jacobs, everyone. Bro, I love you. Let's do it weekly, or at least let's start monthly, right? And then you can tee things up. So
I'm in.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna email you. Don't ghost me.
Don't email. Just text me. I don't look at emails. Hold on here. Hold on.
And hey, we're going to talk after this, because last time we did something like this and then it didn't happen. You got a little bit upset with me and you didn't talk to me for a while because you thought that I was rude to you.
Oh, I knew you were going to bring it up. I was like, if he brings it up. That was my bad. I was a little bit of a jerk. I'll admit, I was a little bit of a jerk. I called Evan one day, guys. I called him. No, I emailed him. I hadn't talked to him in years. And I emailed, maybe I wasn't a jerk. And did I email or call you? I emailed you, right?
Email.
I emailed you. I said, Evan, bro, how you been? Like, checking in, man. I hope you're well. What have you been up to? And he writes me back, I have a blog. You should just go read that.
I don't believe. There must have been something.
I don't have my Yahoo account anymore to verify that that's the way it went down. But in my mind,
it's a little
slanted.
suspect.
A little slanted, I know. But that's the vibe I got. Was he was like, I don't have time to write back, but if you just go check my blog, you could get totally caught up. And I was so upset at him. I was like, bro, I'm never talking to you again. I was like, and then he wrote back. He was like, what?
Years. You guys, take heed of this fact. We went years before we spoke again. And then it all worked out.
And it was fun. That is such a bad true story. Like, that's me. Here's the thing. That's me at my worst and Evan at his worst. Combining in the weirdest way, like, ever. Like, because seriously.
Okay, I'm going to leave you. This is my example of this. So you just met with Atreyu in my parents' living room, which while you're meeting with Atreyu in my parents' living room.
How do I not remember this?
So, because you call me and you're like, listen, I'm driving to meet this band. I don't want to drive anymore. So we're gonna meet at your house. I'm gonna come over. We'll get some food, and then the band's gonna come over. So you went. You had a meeting. Isaac was there, and Isaac and I are just jerking around on the computer, making never-ending story jokes here and there. And you're meeting with the band. You're setting up how to do this video. Which, Darren, by the way, that's one of my favorite videos. That first Atreyu video is awesome.
It's very red, isn't it? Very red. Very red. It's got a red hue to it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
It was one of the first.
It was about you. You always notice colors.
It was the second video. It was the second video I shot on the Panasonic, the big Panasonic VariCam, whatever version there was of the Panasonic. I shot Poison the Well, my first digital big 24p, and Atreyu was the second. But go on.
Oh yeah, because you also did Norma Jean at that time too.
All that, yeah, and Under Oath.
So you finish with Atreyu, they leave, and it must have just been like, okay, Darren's great. Why are we in this guy's house? And they're just over there on the computer the whole time. So anyway, you and I are talking, and I forget what we made a plan to do, but we were really excited. We were probably 2 feet from each other, and we tried to high five, and we missed. So that is what that moment of email and blog. I'd like to think that's the moment. It was just a misfire. It was a misfire.
Yeah, because when we're that close, it's just we're not. That's the problem. We need some distance. Right.
I grazed your thumb, and then we laughed so hard after I did that we didn't even try to do it.
No, that was it. And you know what? And I haven't high-fived anyone since.
Oh, well, okay, I'm going to leave you with one more thing, because the guys in the room need to hear this. There was a point in your life.
Hold on. Is this going to be that embarrassing? Hold on. Here's Evan J. Look who's talking. Look at this human being, guys.
Wait, there was a point in this guy's life where he's hanging out, like there's Salman Agar. He's hanging out with Mike Frazier. He's doing hanging out with all these pro skaters. In the midst of this, for some unknown reason, Darren took up inline skating. And it was a very odd kind of just like, but he wouldn't give it up. And once he went in, he carried them in his car. It was a very, the car that used to say Doane on the back. I don't know what the truck was.
That was the 67 Camaro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget why. I think it was an exercise thing. And then I think it showed up. Ken Dario wore the inline skates in the Promise Ring music video.
Oh, see.
Yeah, you see, so there's a whole other world we have to go down in regards to telling these.
Dude, because you were in on the Promise Ring before anybody cared about that band.
Yes.
You were in on it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, there's like I said. So we got to tell punk rock stories. SoCal, Orange County. I think it's another.
T.O. Dude, I want to go into T.O., deep into T.O., getting off on Canaan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, think of all the bands that came from there and all that stuff. There's so much. So this is Jake. Jake handles all of my podcasting stuff. So Jake.
Oh, I know this guy. Dude, I feel like I'm looking at celebrities now. I see all these guys on the stuff.
You see them? Yeah, we got Matt Bain.
Dude,
right
I'm
here,
in the War of the Container. And what is this gentleman's name with the beard? I'm sorry, I was talking.
That's Matt Bain. Matt Bain.
Oh, Matt. It's Matt Bain.
It's Matt Bain.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh,
see, guys, I'm paying attention. Darren, I love you.
I love you, brother.
Dude, mwah.
Next time, we'll do it again.